Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host, Boise, and before we get started, don't forget guys to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell so you can keep up to date with all our videos. Now that I've said that, this is our SummerSlam 2018 review. Hit the music! So we're going to start off by looking at the kickoff show matches, and the first match of the night was Rusev and Lana taking Andrade, Cien, Almas, and Zelina Vega. This literally felt like a kick-off show match. Very little time to develop any storyline. The most interesting thing of it was that Aiden English, before Rusev and Lana got to the ring, stopped him, said, "Look, I've got a new song, I'm going to make it up to you guys." And Rusev just said, "No, damn right, no, you're not getting involved in this match," and walked away from him. I really was hoping that Aiden English was going to get involved in this match and cost Lana and Rusev the victory. But no, that didn't happen. Andrade, Cien, Almas and Zelina Vega did get the victory. I just feel like this match could have been a lot better used on SmackDown Live than on the kickoff show match. But it just felt out of place. It's like there's a story there, but it just didn't feel like it moved the storyline any further. It just felt like, oh yeah, we've just had another match. Zelina Vega got the victory over Lana, pinning her. She got the 3 count before she even got her legs onto the ropes to hold it down. So that, again, that just made no sense. Quite a few botches. Rusev and Andrade Cien Almas, when they were in the ring, did have some really good chemistry. And like I said last time, these two actually had a match against each other. This is a brilliant match, and it should be used for pay-per-views. Yet, not in this capacity, WWE, not in this capacity. Like I said, it felt like a kickoff show type of match, so it's going to get a kickoff show type of score. It got a 4 out of 10. Next up on the kickoff show, we got the Cruiserweight Championship match, which was Cedric Alexander versus Gulak. And I actually enjoyed this match. I've been enjoying 205 for some time now, since Triple H has taken over, and all the storylines for this have really come together. The only big shame was that it was on the kickoff show, in my opinion, because it could have lasted on this, the main card. I think it could have. But yeah, it was entertaining from start to finish. Gulak looked like he was destroying Cedric Alexander's neck throughout the whole match, and that was his game plan all throughout the night. And I like what WWE have managed to do with Gulak on 205. He can have that silly kind of presentation kind of style, then when he's in the ring he just feels like a psychopath. Cedric Alexander is a fan favourite champion, and I'm glad his reign is still going, to be honest. He did beat Gulak with an amazing reversal to actually hold him down for the 3 count, which was great. It did feel a little bit messy by the end, but it was a decent match, and like I said, it could have been on the main card itself. I felt like it should have been on the main card. For me, this just shows how far 205 has improved, but Vince McMahon just doesn't feel like it's, adaptable to put on the main card, which is a shame. So for me, because it was a decent match, and it just shows fans, look, 205 has improved a lot, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Last but not least, on the kickoff show, we had the B Team versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Again, this match really didn't feel like anything special, and it just felt really poor. It's probably the weakest match of the night, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. The B Team, I get the gimmick. They are a comedy tag team who managed to win with, accidents, and that's how they do it. That's exactly how they did it last night. They managed to beat the B Team when the B Team did have a count to like 50, it felt like, and it felt a bit robbed. I think the Revival are one of the best tag teams on Raw, and it just feels like there's something missing, and the B Team just don't feel like they could hold the titles that much longer. I can't understand what the long-term plans are with the B Team if they're going to continue to win in this manner. But yeah, it just felt like the Revival should have felt a little bit stronger, and losing in a comedy kind of style yet again has, I think, damaged the Revival yet again. This is the same as Raw 25, when the Revival got absolutely destroyed by the Club and DX. It just felt that kind of damage to them yet again. So for that, like I said, it felt like the weakest match of the night, but it was on the kickoff show, so it's going to get a 3 out of 10. This moves us on to the main show itself, and WWE went straight in for the kill. It was Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship, and what a match this was. Everything just felt fresh and new, even though we have seen this match a dozen times already, and it worked. It really did. Seth Rollins bringing Dean Ambrose back. Dean felt like he was ready to destroy everyone. He was pouncing back and forth throughout the match. Drew McIntyre didn't get that much involved until near the end of the match, and Dean was very much the good, good person to, like, kind of, not good person, but the best kind of alternative. Like, I'm going to block whatever Drew McIntyre tries to do. I'm going to be right in his face, and that's what it felt like. That was going to kick off any time with Drew and Dean face to face, ready to beat the crap out of each other all throughout the night. Dolph Ziggler just was fantastic and really sold every single bit, and it was such a back and forth kind of match. Several times it looked like Dolph was about to retain the Intercontinental Championship, and Dolph just couldn't get it done. He couldn't. Drew finally started trying to help by the end, but Dean Ambrose got involved even after Drew McIntyre tried to take Dean out. Dean took him out with Dirty Deeds, and Seth Rollins super kicked Dolph Ziggler in the face, then the stomp to the head to allow him to regain the Intercontinental Championship. Dean celebrated with Seth Rollins, and I'm there like, oh god, Dean's going to turn now. This is it. This is the turn we've been waiting for. And that was it. It went straight to the break. The match itself was fantastic, but when you're expecting a Dean Ambrose turn and it doesn't pull off yet, you're kind of like, oh, you missed an opportunity there, WWE. It felt like they missed a little bit of an opportunity, but again, fantastic match, great way to start the show for SummerSlam. So for me, it's going to get an 8 out of 10. The next match we did get was the New Day taking on the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and this is the match where the Bludgeon Brothers finally acted like the badasses they needed to be. My god, New Day were over as hell throughout the whole match. It was just like, what? This is exactly what we were waiting for with the Bludgeon Brothers, and I will explain that later in this little review. But this was what happened. New Day were everyone's favourites to win this match. I think everyone was kind of tired with what the Bludgeon Brothers have been doing as tag team champions. They haven't been written that well, but in this match it was fantastic. Big E was brilliant. Big E looked like he'd been destroyed a dozen times by Harper and Rollins, who were legitimately trying to destroy both Xavier Woods and Big E, and I am not joking. It looked like every time Xavier Woods was destroyed by Harper or Rollins, and they got the pin. It looked like they got the pin. Xavier kicked out, and you could see the frustration on the Bludgeon Brothers. They looked wrecked. Big E and Xavier was pushed them to the limits, and by the end, Rollins now, had to use the hammer. Finally, they're using the bloody hammer to win by DQ. Well, to lose by DQ, but to still retain the Tag Team Championship. For me, it was a fantastic match. New Day lifted up the Bludgeon Brothers, made them feel as important as they needed to be as tag team champions, and finally the Bludgeon Brothers feel like a legitimate threat because they used the bloody hammers for once. So for me, this was really well put together, really strong match. New Day, they need to be number one, because I want a Hell in a Cell match. I want another Hell in a Cell match with the New Day in versus the Bludgeon Brothers, and I want the Usos in that match now. I want the Usos to get involved in some way, because I think that will add an extra layer to this rivalry. So for me, really well done. Don't mind the DQ finish, because it's going to continue a really strong storyline with the New Day. So for me, it's going to get an 8 out of 10. Next up, we had Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman for the Money in the Bank suitcase match. Now, WWE could have gone into two routes, and they went to, I think, the wrong route for this one, where, from my opinion, they should have had it where Kevin Owens throughout the whole match tried to get Braun Strowman disqualified so he could win the suitcase. That would have been a lot more interesting. WWE didn't go that route. They decided to just pretty much squash Kevin Owens and allow Braun Strowman to get a quick victory. How did I find this? I found that fine. It does work for Braun Strowman's character. He has been squashing Kevin Owens for the last couple of months, but it just made Kevin look very, very weak, and I don't think they need to bury Kevin Owens to make Braun look strong. He's already super over. Making Kevin lose, that's fine. That I can understand that logic for WWE. It's just that making Kevin look a little bit more intelligent, doing little dirty tricks to try and get Braun DQ'd, could have been really fun to see how he got caught each and every time until the match, until Braun finally squashed him. But they didn't decide to do that. They just decided we're going to have a really quick match. Braun wins, the end. And then it's like, oh, well, it has to be a cash-in that night, and we'll talk about that later. But because WWE didn't really want to use Kevin Owens properly, it felt like, I've got to lower the score. And it's going to get a 6 out of 10. Now we're going to talk about the match which I think a lot of people want to talk about. It's the triple threat match, Charlotte Flair versus Carmella versus Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Wow. This was an interesting result. First things first, well done, guys. They had a hell of a match. And I'm going to give Carmella props. She was better than I was expecting. This was a really strong match for all three women. They definitely showed why. Right now, it feels like the SmackDown Women's division is slightly better than Raw's. Slightly is the max word I would use there. But it just, again, Charlotte, Becky, Carmella was fantastic on. So she did a dive out of the ring, which I've never seen her do before, which was great. It's good to see her actually evolving as a wrestler, using new techniques, new moves, and Becky Lynch and Charlotte having faith in her to pull off that type of move is good as well. Becky Lynch, fan favourite throughout the night. Becky was chanted by the fans all night. Charlotte got a few, she got a few cheers, but Becky was definitely the fan favourite when walking into the ring. Unfortunately, that didn't come to pass. Carmella was brilliant. She tried to get Becky and Charlotte to beat the crap out of each other by slapping Becky back of the head and pointing at Charlotte, and Becky thinking it was Charlotte for a bit until they started beating the crap out of Carmella. Carmella just really was a good, sneaky little heel throughout this one. But let's talk about what happened. Charlotte did get the victory. She pinned Becky Lynch, and the crowd turned quickly. That was, I think, one of the quickest crowd turns I've seen in some time, where they started booing the crap out of Charlotte. Carmella ran out of the ring, going up the ramp. Becky and Charlotte started hugging, and next thing we know, Becky turns on Charlotte, and the crowd start cheering. They were angry. A lot of fans online were not very pleased with this result, and I can kind of understand. I think this was a very, very knee-jerk reaction to Becky Lynch's popularity on SmackDown Live. Becky turning heel. Has she turned heel? That was the debate a lot of fans were talking about online. I don't think she did turn heel. I think she did exactly what a lot of people would do in that position of, look, I've been working my ass off, and you have one match and you get into the title match. Makes no sense. And yet Charlotte's a 7-time women's champion. Well, 6-time, or she's won championship after championship, and Becky turning on her, I can't blame her. I was disappointed. I thought Becky deserved the win. I think she deserves to be SmackDown Women's Champion right now. And I think Charlotte should have been the one who turned. I think that should have been the way they've done it. Even if it went with Charlotte winning anyway and then Charlotte turning, that would have been fine. I would have accepted that a little bit more. But Becky turning, Charlotte winning, just didn't feel right. But the match itself was fantastic. One of the best women's matches I've seen in some time. So I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. Next up, we had the WWE Championship match between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. And what can I say, guys? It was brilliant. It was a very well put together match, and I'm so glad this rivalry is not over. Samoa Joe cutting a fantastic promo before this match even started, where AJ Styles' wife Wendy was in the crowd, and Joe used that brilliantly. AJ lost his temper, and it just added an extra layer to this rivalry, and I am so glad they did what they did. Samoa Joe was a legitimate badass. Joe tried everything in the book to play with AJ's head, to destroy him in the ring. AJ countered really well. Both men couldn't pull off their finishers completely, and that's why each one was able to kick out or to get to the ropes to survive. And it was well put together. Near the end, Joe gets on the announcer table, gets the mic. AJ Styles busted open near the ring, and he goes, "Wendy, I did promise your husband would come home, but I lied. I'll be your new daddy." And AJ went mad, took out Joe, got the chair, started smashing him with the chair. It was fantastic. Joe won by DQ, which is great. You definitely know this is building up to Hell in a Cell. I want to see these two fight it out for the WWE title at Hell in a Cell, because that is going to be a hell of a match. If AJ loses at Hell in a Cell, I'm happy, because Joe deserves it. He is a fantastic heel right now, and SmackDown, he feels like the baddest man in all of SmackDown, and AJ just was a badass with this match. Wendy, his wife, had to tell AJ to calm down. His head was busted open, and it was just a well put together match. One thing which really annoyed me though, this should have been near the end of the show. This is the WWE title. This is one of the most historic title belts in the whole company, and it was in the middle of the whole damn show. I was shocked. But apart from that, I'm DQ finished again, but I'm not angry, because this definitely continues their feud with Styles and Samoa Joe. So I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Next up, we got the match which was 8 years in the making, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. And this really was a fantastic match. Did it live up to the hype? I think it did. I think it definitely lived up to what it needed to do. And I can't wait for these two to butt heads in the future. I can't wait for the next stage of this rivalry, because it's not over. It's definitely not over. The Miz comes out. Maurice is outside supporting her husband, which was great. That was fine. And then you had Daniel Bryan come out, and those two just stole the show for me. Daniel Bryan being the very aggressive. The Miz tried to use the it kicks. Daniel grabbing him by the neck and smashing him across the face with his fist. Really sold the match there. It felt like a brawl quite a few times. Then the Miz started using the Daniel Bryan moves, which he stole a couple years back, using the it kits, as Corey Graves calls them, trying his best. Both men were just giving it all, and it felt like this type of match could have gone on for an extra 5-10 minutes. Daniel Bryan looked like he was about to get the victory. He was pushing the Miz outside the ring. Maurice gives him something. Definitely gives him something. Daniel's about to jump through the ring again. The Miz hits him with a weapon, it looks like. Knuckle. It could have been brass knuckles. I'm not sure. Daniel's out cold. The Miz gives it back to Maurice really quickly without anyone seeing what the weapon was. Miz gets the 3 count. What an end. What a way to just... I don't even know what to say. This was fantastic. This really felt like a main event kind of match. And the screwy finish with the Miz cheating to win, yes, I accepted that. That was a great victory for The Miz. I cannot wait to see these two take each other out yet in the future. But yeah, like I said, it's you can tell it's not over, but it's so exciting to see what's next. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Next up, we had Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor, but we didn't just get Finn Balor, we got Demon Balor, and it was a squash match, and the crowd were fantastic. Were they brilliant? The minute the Demon music hit, that's when the crowd went crazy, and Baron Corbin lost the plot. He was not expecting that, and it took the Demon no time to defeat Baron Corbin. Right decision by WWE. Let Finn use his trump card, the Demon Balor, and squash Baron Corbin, and just say, look, he's ready for the next stage. He could go for more time. Give him a title shot. Give him a bloody Intercontinental Championship or Universal title. Doesn't matter. Give him a shot at a title. Finn Balor will be amazing. No complaints. Like I said, it was a squash match. Baron Corbin was complaining throughout it all. But for me, it gets a 7 out of 10. Next up was the United States Championship match, where we had Shinsuke Nakamura, the champion, taking on Jeff Hardy. This definitely was the match I was very, very cautious about. I felt it could have been the weakest match. I didn't understand why it was the third to last match of the night when we had the WWE title match right in the middle of the card. Just didn't feel right. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura did get the victory. It was a good match between both men. Jeff Hardy is I'm not sure if Jeff is just crazy or doesn't realise he's gonna break himself. He's not a young man anymore, and he was pulling off moves, and you're like, oh god, Jeff hasn't been at 100% for some time. We can tell that while watching SmackDown Live, but he gave it his all, and I think the crowd really appreciate everything. It looked like he got the victory a few times with Twist of Fate, but Shinsuke Nakamura, brilliant heel tactics, and tried to get himself DQ'd as well by going for the low blow, but Jeff was too smart for that, which I think is good. I like that they're still incorporating the low blow into Shinsuke Nakamura's moves, but it doesn't come off too often, which is good. I don't want to see it too much in matches. But yeah, Shinsuke did get the victory. He didn't cheat to win, which was good to see. He actually, Jeff took himself out. Shinsuke Nakamura took advantage of that. King Slasher to the face. 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke is still our United States champion. Now, Jeff, take some time off, recoup. Randy Orton did come out after the match. It looked like he was about to attack Jeff Hardy. Shinsuke Nakamura did not look happy when Randy Orton came out as well, so that could be quite interesting. But yeah, Randy Orton came out, walked down to the ring, and then turned back around and walked away. It was like, what the hell? What are you gonna attack Jeff, or are you not? Couldn't tell. Like I said, very good. It was a very good match, and you can tell Jeff's injured, so I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Next up, we had the Raw Women's Championship match, where we saw Alexa Bliss, the champion, taking on Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet. I've got to say, the match was very short. Ronda pretty much destroyed Alexa Bliss in no time, which I expected. I think everyone kind of expected that. But yeah, it just felt like Ronda just... I don't know what WWE are trying to do with Ronda Rousey. They've definitely made her OP. I can definitely say that. She's sat in the... Right, Alexa Bliss, good little heel tactics at the start. She got out of the ring quite a lot of the times before Ronda could get her. So Ronda sat in the middle of the ring, waited for Alexa Bliss to attack her. Then she just pretty much destroyed her after that. There was a bit where she had her in the armbar. It looked, obviously Alexa Bliss is double jointed, so she can pull her arms quite far back, and it looked like it came out of place. It wasn't. You can tell it wasn't. And then Ronda Rousey got the Alexa Bliss to tap out. The two things I want to say. Great to see Natalya come out. She was there to support Ronda Rousey, which was fine. And two, the video package for the match beforehand was longer than the match, and the celebrations after Ronda won the match was longer than the match. I was like, it was like a 5-minute match. Ronda won the title in like about 5-6 minutes. The package and the celebrations were about 10 minutes. That just tells you something, guys. That really does tell you something. Yeah, Ronda celebrated. She kissed her husband. She had the Bella to it. Oh my God, Nikki Bella and Brie Bella got booed as hell when they entered the ring, and I cannot blame the audience for booing them. I was like, why are you in the ring? Why? You legitimately had no claim of coming back to WWE. We don't really need you. You're not that popular right now. So yeah, well done, guys. But yeah, Ronda winning. Very quick match. She looked like a badass, and I think that's what they went for. I feel so sorry for Alexa Bliss. I think it was a bit too soon for Ronda to get the title. It's only a 4th match really in WWE, and she won it. She won the title. That's really quick. But yeah, we knew they were going to build her up like this. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Last but not least, it was our main event, and it was Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns is in the main event of a pay-per-view yet again. Yay! Well, obviously it's for a title this time, so that's fine. Came out, both men looking absolutely ready to destroy each other, and Braun Strowman comes out with the money. Cuts a fantastic promo, says, look, I'm not like old cowards with this briefcase. One of you guys, whoever wins, is gonna get these hands. And that felt like an extra factor to this match. Very, very quick match. Roman, Superman punch, spear, spear, spear. Brock putting him into submission moves. It looked like Brock was going to get the victory. Roman taking out Braun by mistake, and then Brock Lesnar F5ing Braun Strowman, throwing the suitcase up to the top of the ring to get away from the ring, which was fantastic. And then Brock attacking Braun Strowman, not even caring about Roman Reigns, just destroying Braun Strowman with the steel chairs. Then goes into the ring to take out Roman to get a DQ. He lost but keep the belt. Roman spears, gets the victory. We have a new Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Am I upset about Roman Reigns? No, I'm not. Unlike some people, I think I'd rather have Roman hold the title than have Brock Lesnar not turn up with the belt. So yeah, Roman holding the belt is fine. Obviously, Braun Strowman's got the Money in the Bank suitcase still, which adds an extra layer, because I'd love to see those two destroy each other yet again. And yeah, it means we get to see Universal title on Raw now, like we do with SmackDown with the WWE title. It's on there every week. It feels legitimately like the A show. So yeah, this could add extra freshness to Raw now that the big title is finally back on the show. The match itself was very quick. I like that Braun Strowman added that extra danger to the match, and that Brock Lesnar had to take Braun Strowman out. He felt like he had to take him out with the steel chair, with the F5. Braun Strowman had the best line of the night though, Beastie Boy, and everyone started chanting. Brock Lesnar looked annoyed with that nickname. It was fantastic. But yeah, quick match, very quick compared to AJ Styles and Samoa Joe's. So I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. And there you go, guys. That was SummerSlam for 2018. We did have a bit with Elias trying to play his guitar and it fell apart. Don't know what that was about. Didn't really want to talk about it on the show, but yeah. Altogether, SummerSlam was really good. It was better than last year's SummerSlam by far. I felt like every match had an actual purpose this year round. Apart from the Lana and Rusev one, I just felt like that could have been moved on to SmackDown and we really wouldn't have missed it. The beating, I'm not sure about the comedy stuff, But everything else, Ronda Rousey winning the title, is it too soon? Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. A lot of people are going, oh, she's part-time. Becky Lynch turning heel, we'll have to wait and see what happens on SmackDown Live. Hopefully, if she is heel, they'll make her a badass heel, and they won't do what they do all the time, like they have done with Carmella and the Iconics, and just make her feel like a joke. But if that's how it's going to be, Becky versus Charlotte at Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's title, I cannot wait. That could be a really good match. Like I said, everything feels good. Roman winning the title, no complaints. He's going to bring the title to the show every week, so I'm happy with that. And obviously, Braun Strowman is still Money in the Bank holder. So, but yeah, altogether, I felt like SummerSlam had a decent card, and they lived up to the hype which it needed to do. I think it's not as strong as what TakeOver did, but I think with like 15 billion matches in it, it did really well. So altogether, I'm going to give SummerSlam an 8 out of 10. So guys, what was your favourite match of SummerSlam? Leave it in the comments below. And if you do like the videos, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell to keep up to date with all our videos here at Smack Talk Wrestling Review. If you want to follow the channel, you can do on Twitter. It's at Smack Talk YouTube. That's YouTube. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Boise888. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.